Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. I would like to wish to Madam Suzy and my fellow classmates. First and foremost, let me define the meaning of leadership. Leadership is a fundamental component of successful organizations, teams, and communities. It is the ability of an individual to influence and guide followers or members of an organization or society. Leadership can be challenging, and some say that leading a country is one of the most difficult tasks. Since Malaysia's independence, it has produced many prime ministers with high caliber, but only one person has ever held the position twice. His name is Mahathir bin Mohamad. He was the fourth and the seventh prime minister of Malaysia during his second tenure. Mahathir set out to reform the country's institution, fight corruption, and restore trust in his government. Today, we will address how Tun Dr Mahathir rose to power in his second tenure and his vision in the Malaysian economic development from 2018 to 2020.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Amir. I will tell about the background of Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, tenure as the 7 Prime Ministers start 2018 until 2020. In 2018, at the age of the 92, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad made a remarkable return to the politics. This was the historic moment as he became the oldest head of the state in the world. His return was precedented because he led the Pakatan Harapan to the victory in the general elections, defeating the Barisan Nasional coalitions, which has been in the power since Malaysia independent in 1957. It was the huge achievement as it was the first time the ruling party has been defeated by the alternative coalitions. After taking the oath of office on May 10, 2018, Mahathir began his second term as a Prime Minister, focused on addressing major issues like the corruptions and the government reforms. One of the key issues during his campaign was a 1MDB scandal. The corruption was involving the previous Prime Minister Najib Razak. Mahathir campaigned strongly against the graft and promised to investigate the 1MDB scandal thoroughly. His government aimed to the return fiscal discipline, which meant controlling the national budget more carefully and make changes to the economic politics that were seen the unfair to the certain group. In the February 2020, just 22 months into his second term, Mahathir resigned. This was the due political instability within his coalitions, which led to its collapse. As a result, a new Prime Minister, Muhyiddin Yassin, took over. Mahathir's resigned marked the end of his second term of the Prime Minister, even though his second term was brief. Mahathir's efforts to fight the corruptions and his focused government reform had the lasting impact on the Malaysians. His leadership at the age of the 92 shows how important he was the country political landscape. He will be remembered for his role in advancing Malaysia's developments and trying to make the government more transparent and accountable. That's all.
Next, we move to the next discussion, which is application of Malaysia economic development in the era of Tun Dr Mahathir's second tenure. Malaysia's tax landscape has seen significant change over the years. Initially, Malaysia implemented the Sales Tax Act in 1972 and the Service Tax Act in 1975. In 2050, the government introduced a 6% Good and Service Tax or GST in an effort to create a more streamlined revenue system. However, GST received criticism, especially for its impact on low and middle income households. In response, the new government rolled back GST in 2018, replacing it with an updated Sales and Service Tax SST 2.0. This revision was particularly beneficial for the B40 income group, as it accepted essential goods from taxation, potentially lowering living costs and housing price. This shift highlights the government effort to balance revenue generation with social equity. Let's now move to infrastructure. In 2016, Malaysia signed a major deal with China for the East Coast Rail Link, a project aimed at connecting the east and west coast of Peninsular Malaysia. However, in 2018, the Prime Minister Mahathir renegotiated the project due to concern about high costs, eventually securing a 32.8% cost reduction. This renegotiation showcased the government's strategy of infrastructure development combined with prudent fiscal management. Corruption is a global issue, and in Malaysia, tackling it has become a core government focus. In 2080, Malaysia established the National Centre for Governance, Integrity and Anti-Corruption (GIACC) to oversee anti-corruption initiative. GIACC created the National Anti-Corruption Plan (NACP) for 2019 to 2033 to strengthen transparency and integrity across the government sector. This reform reflects Malaysia's commitment to fostering a corruption-free, accountable government. As part of its economic modernization, Malaysia launched the Industry 4WRD policy, aimed at aligning local manufacturers, particularly SME, with the global shift toward Industry 4.0. This strategy, led by the Ministry of International Trade and Industry, focused on increasing productivity, innovation and the proportion of skilled labor in manufacturing. Moreover, funds will allocate in the national budget to help business integrate advanced technology and adopt a digital approach. Finally, Malaysia's Smart City Framework supports urban development. With urban population rising, Malaysia aims to create sustainable, livable cities using smart technology. This framework, introduced in 2019, target issues such as cohesion and pollution while aiming to improve quality of life and promote economic growth. Smart city planning will play a crucial role in Malaysia's future urban strategy, emphasizing sustainable and tech-driven solutions.
Next, we will move to the impacts of Malaysian economic development under Tun Mahathir. The first one is national financial recovery. Tun Mahathir's administration prioritised managing Malaysia's national debt, which was reportedly high when he took office. The government assessed national debt at over 1 trillion, around 250 billion, a figure that has sparked concerns over fiscal sustainability. Second impact is mega project structuring. Several infrastructure projects such as the East Coast Rail Link, CRL, and Bandar Malaysia, initiated under the previous government, were renegotiated or postponed to reduce Malaysia's financial burden. The third one is support to the small and medium sector SME. The example is programs such as the Bank Negara Malaysia, PNM, SME Fund, and increased support through government-linked financial institution provide SMEs with more accessible loans. This led to higher investment within the sector and encouraged growth, though some SMEs still found access to financing challenging, especially during the pandemic's early days when demand for credit surged. The last impact is international trade. Malaysia has become more integrated into the global digital economy, especially within ASEAN. Enhanced digital trade infrastructure help Malaysian SMEs access international markets, although the full impact of these policies would emerge more gradually over time.
Hi everyone, my name is Nur Hazra Husna binti Muhammad Hanizam, and I will talk about how for impact of Malaysian economic development gives some serious challenges. Let's jump right in and see how each of these areas was affected. First up, the challenges is global trade tension. This relates with the impact which is mega project structuring. Malaysia relies a lot on export, but the US-China trade war created a lot of instability. So this global tension cut into Malaysia's trade income, making it tough to fund big project consistently. Imagine trying to plan a huge project with cost and return constantly changing due to trade tensions. So it makes securing stable funding for this project a real challenge given how unpredictable things were globally. Second challenges is political instability that relate with the impact of national financial recovery. So this got complicated with political instability after the 2018 elections. So the political shift caused a lot of uncertainty, which made investors worry. This slowed down foreign investment and in turn impact economic growth. The constant changes in leadership and policies made it hard to stick to any long-term financial recovery plans. So it was not an easy path forward. The third challenges is domestic economic weaknesses that relate with the impact of support for SMEs, which are crucial for Malaysia's economy. But these SMEs face a tough time due to local issues like high household debt, income inequality, and a reliance on low-skilled labor. So these economic challenges limited the resources and stability SMEs needed to grow. So instead of being a big boost to the economy, these small businesses struggle to reach their full potential. Finally, the fourth challenges is the COVID-19 pandemic, the impact of international trade. Malaysia aimed to become a top trade and investment destination, but COVID brought major disruption. Sectors like tourism and retail were hit hard, foreign investment slowed down, and travel restriction frustrated opportunities. So this made it extremely challenging to build a strong global trade connections and grow the economy.
Next, we'll move to the recommendation of Malaysian economic development in 2018 to 2020. The first one in Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership (RCEP). Tun Mahathir actively supported the RCEP, the world's largest trade agreement, which includes ASEAN members along with China, Japan, South Korea, Australia, and New Zealand. The signing of RCEP in November 2020 was seen as a strategic move to enhance Malaysia's access to regional markets and mitigate the impacts of the US-China trade war. The second recommendation is policy implementation. One of the key objectives of Tun Mahathir's government was to restore public trust in governance, fight corruption, and strengthen institutional transparency, particularly after the 1MDB scandal that had undermined the credibility of the previous government.
Next, the third recommendation is fiscal responsibility, which is all about managing government spending and debt wisely. So if Malaysia maintains a balanced budget and spend efficiently, it can avoid high deficit and keep the economy stable. A disciplined fiscal approach will strengthen our economic foundation and resilience. Lastly, in Malaysia, we have the 2019 Economic Stimulus Package, known as Prihatin, also known as Package Rangsangan Ekonomi Prihatin Rakyat, which was introduced by Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. So this initiative supported small businesses and low-income groups during tough time, helping to stimulate spending. So this approach could be repeated in the future to support economic resilience during downturns, ensuring that help reaches those who need it most.
The 2018 to 2020 period will be marked as one of the most historical periods in Malaysia. This administration faced the challenging task of balancing economic growth with fiscal responsibility and reform. Overall, it was marked by efforts to address financial challenges, review major projects, and continue pursuing economic growth. Nevertheless, his second tenure remains a remarkable episode in Malaysian politics, symbolizing a comeback fueled by his dedication to reform, even if the challenges he faced underscored the complexities of coalitional governance and the struggle for political stability in Malaysia. So that's all from us. Thank you for your attention.